Yo, what's up, YouTube? What's going on? As you can tell, or as you can listen, I'm a touch under the weather, all right? You get a sick girlfriend, you get a sick house, all right? Fuck it. Don't really care about none of that. I'm still going to do the shit I need to do, all right? This shit don't stop shit. It just make me sound funny. All right. So, what I want to talk about today, honestly, because I have other things to talk about, but this one was one of the ones that sat on my head the most. Like, this is at the top of the list for me personally. I want to talk about being straight edge. Now, I think it's a topic that doesn't get touched on a lot, and no one really talks about it per se, maybe because it's not like super interesting, but I've been pretty much straight edge most of my life, meaning like I'm the guy that never got in trouble. I mean, I had trouble, but I wasn't really like no street nigga like that. Like, I never really got arrested, had some fights here and there, but I never really robbed nobody, stole nothing from nobody. Like, I never been like on no street dude type of shit. I've also never been someone that played with the drug things. It wasn't until about 4 or 5 years ago that I actually started drinking. And I'm not really a super drinker. Now, I'm one of them kind of guys. What makes me straight edge, to be honest with you, right? Because this is the topic I really want to touch on, personally, for me. What makes me like that, personally, is because I'm someone that loves progress, right? I got goals I want to achieve. I got things I'm trying to do. And, if I own my own business, per se, I'd probably be a little bit less straight edge because my income and the things I needed to do would not be predicated and based off a company, per se. But I never really could mix in with all that other shit that everybody else got to do. Like, I knew motherfuckers that sold, like, drugs. Like, and I'm saying it like the Dare Bear. Even when I say it out loud, it sounds like Dare Bearish. Anyway, not the Dare Bear, the Dare Lion. Most of my friends and family, at least when I was younger, was some way or some shape and form involved in, like, street shit. Meaning, like, I've got cousins that have robbed motherfuckers. I've got cousins that have shot at people. I've got cousins that have trapped. And I've been around all these niggas. Now, the thing about being a motherfucker that fucks with some of this substance and the street shit is that you can't really get in with the other shit. Meaning, like, I got a homeboy that would go work corporate and then go back to doing street shit, when we got done doing corporate shit. And the thing about that is you can't mix both. Like, okay, I've always been someone that had high dollar jobs, right? I think the lowest paying job I might have had might have been a dishwasher. Like, I started out washing dishes. Well, before that, I actually started out cutting grass and raking yards and bullshit like that, just to tell you a little bit about me and my past. But the first job I had really got, like, that really made me money, I started working at the prison, all right? From there, I left the prison, went to the military. Did the military for about 8 years. Left the military, went to work at the nuclear plant. And now I drive trucks. The point I'm making is when you work these type of jobs, when you do anything that's like high paying and you're not the owner of it, you can't mix in with certain type of shit. Like with the nuclear plant, you can't even really get speeding tickets for real. Like, because a lot of these jobs that I've worked, like nuclear plant, all this other bullshit, the Navy, they require a background check. Like, you really can't mix in with shit. And even when I was involved with motherfuckers doing these types of jobs, like, I had a friend a long time ago, right? Was in the military. One of my good friends got caught up for selling weed. He went down to North Carolina for a little while. Motherfucking he got arrested with a couple pounds on him. I remember when they kicked him out. They made a real big deal about it, all right? What I'm saying is you can't be in none of these jobs and doing the other shit. Like, I've always had to be the responsible motherfucker. Like, when you're the one trying to hold shit together, you can't be the man and be fucking up at the same time. Like, I know all this sounds weird to motherfuckers that did all the other shit. Like, I guess I would be to some degree square because I've never been one that fucked with and just did the same shit everybody else was doing. I remember even being 18, I was obsessed with saving money. But, you know, the way everybody else acts around you affects the shit you're trying to, like, be on per se. Like, if you're trying to have something and you hang around a bunch of motherfuckers that don't give a fuck, like, it's going to be very hard to keep anything you trying to work to hold on to. A lot of times when I tried to keep money when I was younger, it was always somebody else's shit that fucked my shit up. Like, you know, I was living in my mom's house, working a job and shit, right? And it would be, I had to pay a bill because my dad didn't pay a bill because my dad didn't give a fuck about trying to toe no type of line and do right. Like, it's one of those things that used to annoy me when I was younger. Like, I remember being 15, 16, paying bills at my mama's house. Like, I remember that time period very well, and I used to hate it. Like, I used to hate having to take the money that I worked for and earned and pay bills in the house. Like, I think that's what me disliking, like, paying bills started from. Like, I've always been someone that always had to be responsible for more shit outside myself. And any man that is worth his salt genuinely is. And it took me a long time to learn that too. Meaning, like, if you're a man and you're of age, right? Even if you're like in your 20s or whatever, if everybody else around you ain't got their shit together, chances are some of the shit you dealing with is going to bleed off into, like, not bleed off into their shit. Some of their shit is going to bleed off into your shit. Because it was 1,000,001 times where motherfuckers would call me out the blue and ask me for money. Like, I would have issues from my own family members that would be older than me. Like, I'd have aunties ask me for like $20, $30 or, you know, can you let me borrow something? And, you know, and it would be motherfuckers that would ask me for money and would not pay me back. Like, it would be the same thing in the military. Like, those times when I was overseas, what motherfuckers used to do to me when I was overseas, because when you go overseas, you can't leave by yourself. When I used to go, like, out in, let's say, Spain somewhere, right? You can't sign out and go nowhere in Spain by yourself. You have to go with a group of people. And what would always happen to me is either I got to sit there and make sure somebody don't do no fuck shit to get us arrested, or I got to drag a motherfucker back because they can't handle their alcohol. Like, that shit got old real fast. I remember that shit happened with a first class, right? And she wasn't no little woman. She was about 200 something. We go to fucking, might have been England, I think. When we went to England, this big bitch get fucking faded, wasted. She 200 something pounds. And this is like my supervisor. So we dragging this big ass motherfucking blubber whale back by ourselves. It's me on one arm, another dude on another arm. She stumbling all over the place. I'm like, dog. Like, I used to hate that shit when motherfuckers used to go overseas and just get obliterated to the point where they can't function. They saying shit to you. They coming in the motherfucking birth and starting arguments. They want to fight motherfuckers out in town. Like, just dumbass shit. Like, personally, me, I used to hate stuff like that. Man, and don't even get me started on me being a designated driver. I used to designate drive for my homeboys all the fucking time, and I hate it. Like, back when we used to run those clubs in Georgia, those little holes in the wall and shit, Brunswick, Swainsboro, fucking Vidalia, Hinesville, Baxley, what, the White House, Omega, man, listen. What my homeboys would do, right? We all go out. It'd probably be like $40 between the four of us total. My homeboy had one of them little small Daewoo cars. He put $10 in that motherfucker. We used to get 2 hours off that, which I don't know how the fuck. But we get to the end of the night, after everybody partying, I'm only just drinking Red Bulls because I never really drunk like that. It's like, okay, so I'm just like, okay, so who driving back now? Because I'm usually the one that always drives. Or, you know, I try to get somebody else to drive because I get tired of driving back 2 hours. I wasn't the driver I am now. And that motherfucking, look, when you drive 2 hours to a fucking club, right? It's 8, 9 o'clock. You driving 2 hours to probably Brunswick somewhere or Statesboro. Maybe I'm getting it too confused because I ain't been down in a while. You're driving 2 hours to Statesboro, right? Party, you know, might be Gucci Mane, whoever the fuck, or, you know, President Short. If you're from Georgia, you know. But motherfuckers throwing these big ass parties and shit. It get about around 1, 2 in the morning. We done been in that bitch partying, fights done broke out, all type of shit. Motherfuckers come out the other end of the club. So it would be like this thing where we'd all trying to figure out who driving. And everybody would just come out, listen, bro, I'm drunk. All of my homeboys, all the time they did this shit to me. listen, bro, I'm drunk. Like, everyone, I'm like, man, y'all can't keep, like, being the responsible, like, straight edge person, I say, it's kind of some bullshit because everybody else around you be on dumb shit. And listen, 2 hours back to the house, after you got up and drove 2 hours there, party for 3 hours, 2 hours back to where I stayed at, went back to my mama's house from a motherfucking party where you done been sweating all night. That shit used to feel like I was driving cross country. You at the wheel, you in and out you like dozing off. Everybody, you know how a car ride feel when you drunk. You go straight to sleep. Everybody in the motherfucker out. Like, just the dumb shit just I've encountered from being the, I guess, responsible person. Like, and then the shit that was really some super bullshit. Even if I didn't want to go out, motherfuckers would try to make me go out because they knew they didn't want to drive. Oh, and I left this out, right? The shit I'd go to, when, like, because everybody, before we go, we ask everybody, hey, y'all got y'all money? You know, and $10 was a lot to get into a club. $10, $20, that motherfucker charging 20, motherfuckers ain't going. We didn't have money like that. Motherfuckers had jobs, but we didn't have $20 out your check was a lot back then. Anyway, right? So you drive not 3 hours. We drive 2 hours, right? Get to the club, get there. What the fuck you think happened? Motherfuckers don't bring their money, right? So don't nobody want to. My cousin Chris used to pull the show all the time. Motherfuckers get there, don't nobody got their shit. So now we got to try to figure out. Me and my other cousin got to scrap together, see if we can get enough money for everybody to get in. And everybody took turns doing this shit. Like, and then the motherfuckers I used to like kick it with, like the girls I like was hung out with from time to time and shit. It's like motherfuckers always needed a bill paid. Didn't eat all fucking day. You know, ain't got no money. I'm fucked up right now. I'm broke as hell. Like, well, I don't even say women. People. Because guys used to do this shit to me, too. Hey, cuz, like, what's up, man? Hey, look, man. You got about $30 I can borrow to by tomorrow. Like, that would happen to me so much. And throughout my life has always been... Like, I don't think I've really been the guy that borrowed money from people or just came in the motherfuckers' lives and just started doing a bunch of other fuck shit. I guess why what irritates me so much about it is that with me being straight edge, right? It's not so much like, I've never been someone that cared for substances. I've never been someone that cared for trouble and drugs and nothing like that. I've never been someone that cared to even just evade and get into anything involved with the police. I never was that guy. I never had been arrested. I never cared for stuff like that. I've always been in love with progress. Like, I've always wanted to become a better man and just, I've always wanted to build toward a better life. Like, my mama didn't grow up with money. My dad made money, but my dad always fucked off his money. So we always never had money to begin with. So my whole existence since I've been here is just to get it the fuck together. Like, I've always wanted to have my shit together. And it always felt like time and time again that I was always around motherfuckers that, wanted to go in the opposite direction. Let me tell you something about being the guy that doesn't do none of this bullshit, right? You walk a very thin line, right? Sometimes I be wanting to get high as a motherfucker. Like, I don't smoke weed, but I don't got nothing against weed. If it wasn't for this fucking trucking company, right? Or just in general, like, it's not even the trucking company. Like, I've always been involved with jobs that I've always been piss tested at random. That being piss tested at random, that's been my entire life. Like, having to make sure you are straight for a random ass drug test, that has been my entire life. And I've gotten real accustomed to walking that line. But what I would really like to do personally is get myself to a point where I own my own shit. And I can just get high as a motherfucker and not worry about it fucking up my shit. Like, it don't be that I don't be wanting to be involved. I don't want to fuck up nothing in the process. Because honestly, right, even as far as, like, issues I've had with niggas in the street. Let me tell you something about beefing with a street nigga, right? You get into it with a street nigga. Or just not even a street nigga. You get into a street beef or beef with another guy on the street. You better be prepared and ready to go to prison behind it. Meaning like, because a lot of guys, what they do is they start shit with you, or they pick fights with you, or they say something smart to you, say something slick to your girlfriend. When you are a man, right, your whole life is practically defense. You know, if you are a man worth his salt, right? Like, personally, if you ask me what I wanted for my birthday, I would like to get even with a lot of niggas that cross me. Meaning, like, I would like to catch you motherfuckers in a back alley, beat the holy hell out of you to you are within an inch of your fucking life, and then that be it. But no, you know what niggas want to do? Niggas want to call the police. Niggas want to call their big brother. Niggas want to get the gun, you know, get the Glock 40, right? Look, I be wanting to fight you niggas. I really don't want to kill you niggas. Like, if I could shoot a motherfucker and not go to prison for it, I would. Like, I wouldn't think twice about it. I'd shoot you right in your motherfucking head and be done with it. I would kill you. And I hate saying things like that, but it's like the type of like time that most guys be on when you have issues with them. You will lose your entire livelihood behind trying to like get into it with one of these niggas in the street. Cause let me just paint a scenario for you real quick. Your girlfriend has a Facebook, or just say you out with your girlfriend. Let's say you just live in a rougher neighborhood. Motherfucker verbally disrespects your girlfriend. You and him get into it. What do? Like, you can only, as a guy that works a job that has a 9-to-5 that makes good money, you can only push that envelope but so far. Like, you can get into a fist fight with a cat, and I know this sounds like a super negative like perspective, but my dad always taught me, like, if anything can happen, be prepared if it does happen. So I always take things from the perspective of, this shit probably will happen, let me prepare for it. But anyway, right? You get into it with a cat in the street. You have to, when you get into it with these street niggas, you better be prepared to put his dick in the dirt. You better be prepared to kill him, because that's where he's going to take it. Even if he don't take it, you got to treat it the same way. And the point I'm making is you can't really, if you're a guy that's trying to have something, right? You know, you really want to own a business. Not even have something. You got family you're responsible for. And the way society sets this shit up nowadays, majority of you men that make money, you are the breadwinner and your woman is at home, pretty much. The way y'all be wanting it structured, right? Or even, not even structured. Most of these guys make more money than the women that they're with. In most cases, right? You go to jail behind a fist fight with a nigga because you don't know how to, I guess, get through it without fucking up your shit. Or you can't even really tie it with these cats like that. Because you will, in turn, fuck up your shit fucking with these niggas. And that's been the life I've been living for the last 34 years. Wanting to get into it with a motherfucker, but I can't really take it there with you the way I want to. Like, hell, that's basically the story of how I ended up in New York. Like, too much, okay, I'm not saying bullshit don't happen here, but bullshit, I wouldn't even say bullshit in Georgia. Bullshit is different when you know people, meaning like, Huggy's younger brother could have an issue with a nigga. Huggy in it, and now I'm in it because Huggy in it. That's how it is back where I'm from. Like, you got a brother, your brother got a beef, that becomes your beef now. Meaning, like, your brother getting into some shit with a couple motherfuckers from up the street, you got to get into it with him because that's your brother. That would happen to me a lot. And then motherfuckers would take on my beefs, and you got everybody around you doing the same thing. Oh, this is my nigga, I'm going to jump, I'm going to ride for my nigga, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? You can't necessarily live within that format being a guy that's trying to have something. It's very hard to do both. Meaning, like, you can't be the guy with the military job. You can't be the guy with the good prison job. You can't be, I don't know, the motherfucker with a good corporate job. You cannot be involved with these type of people. So it's made me inadvertently cut motherfuckers the fuck off because I ain't got time for nobody's bullshit. I can't help you with your street beef 15 hours away. I purposely did it like that. Like, I cannot get involved with nobody's shit from Georgia, even if you call me, oh, motherfucker, shot out the block. I can't do nothing from New York. And quite honestly, I don't want to. Like, I'm not tying up with none of you niggas and your bullshit. I'm not tying up with motherfuckers trying to, like, oh, well, let's go hang out. I've had guys up here do it. Yo, let's hang out. Let's go kick it, bro. If we not no fucking gym, if we not talking no business, if we not, like, doing no constructive shit, I don't want nothing to do with you niggas, because a group full of fucked up niggas will derail the fuck out of you. So yeah, man, a lot of this shit, basically, I mean, I guess the reason why I've always been like, because I mean, my sister turned out fine, but my sister took a fucked up path to get there. Like, she had to pull herself up by her high heels and get it together. But, you know, being a guy trying to have something, and especially being a black man trying to have some shit, you got to work twice as hard to be half as good. I don't got nobody to, like, grandfather me into shit. I don't got no big homie to call for nothing like, hey, do me a favor, you know, get me this job. You know what I mean? I don't got an uncle with, like, $1 million in a big mansion. I'm not saying my family members aren't supportive, but most of my family members are hood niggas. Like, they can only get you in more bullshit. Even your own people, they can only get you in more shit. And that's not everybody, but it's at least half. And I can't afford to let nobody derail me off nothing I'm trying to accomplish because y'all want to be on fuck shit. Like, okay, I would technically be the definition of self-made. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have no potential business partners to, like, strike a deal up and two other niggas to start a YouTube with. Like, most of the YouTube videos I do them by myself. I've never collabed with anything or anybody. Like, niggas will say that, oh, let's start a podcast, bullshit. Niggas be lying. I'm not even finna get into that, but I'm just saying, like, okay, being a man, trying to have some shit, trying to have a house, trying to do right by, you know, the faith your mother puts in you, you know, trying not to be a failure. Like, I'm obsessed with not being a failure. That's how I feel about that. Like, you can't afford to tie up with certain types of people or certain types of shit or certain types of substances. If it's even a chance that this shit is going to fuck me up, I'm not going to take it. All right. And that is how I feel about a lot of this shit. Because when you the motherfucker that's responsible, I get locked up, I'm in that jail cell by myself. I do some dumb shit, go to prison, I'm in that motherfucker by myself. Right? I shoot at a nigga shoot me, I'm in that. Most of the beefs I've had, I've been in them by myself. Not saying my homeboys ain't never been supportive, but they don't live up here. And 9 times out of 10, any motherfucker I've ever had issues with, they've not been around me for it. I've had to learn to carry my own weight throughout my life, and I'm not saying no one else has. But when you get in some fuck shit, you fuck around and get the wrong girl pregnant, you are in that motherfucker by yourself. That is your responsibility. I don't play by the same rules that everybody else does because I don't want the same shit everybody else got. If it was just a matter of me getting a good job and having a solid life, I've already accomplished that. I'm not setting my goals there. I got bigger shit to do. So yeah, the straight edge shit may be lame as fuck. I may not be able to get high like the rest of y'all. And my God, do I envy it. But, you know, at least the way I feel about it, when the tale is finally told down the line and it's done been years and things have passed and I've accomplished the goals I've wanted to accomplish and I've done the things I want to do, the story, at least the way I feel about it, it'll speak for itself. All right. I got bigger goals, bigger plans than most people. At least personally, that's how I feel about it. You know what I mean? I got things I really want to accomplish, and I'm willing to bite the bullet and make the sacrifices and do the work and do the self-improvement to get there. I got shit to do, including going to work out. So I'm just saying, I'm not fucking with the dumb shit you niggas is on because I got things to do and I got, you know, goals to achieve. So again, I'm sorry I dragged this shit out so long. It was just one of those things I felt passionate about and I really wanted to talk about. So again, opinions are like assholes, but that don't mean you fucking gotta be. I will holler at you niggas. I am finna go lift in Planet Fitness as much as I do not feel like it. And I'm gonna push past the shit I don't feel like it to get to the shit that I want. But anyway, I'll holler at y'all, man. Peace, blessings, and love.